Good morning, friends. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 most experienced negative emotions. This is Kaustubh, and we are going to understand how these negative emotions affect your chances of winning. So, the top 10 most experienced negative emotions, the list is here. First is irritation or discomfort. Second is fear. Third is hurt, followed by anger, frustration, disappointment, guilt, overload, overwhelm, loneliness, or helplessness. Today I am going to dissect each of these emotions and how they impact your winning. See guys, it is not very difficult to understand that if you want to win in business, in profession, if you have a dream, if you want to achieve that dream, if you have a goal which is set and you want to hit that goal, you will require a lot of focus. So when you're talking about focus, you need to prudently avoid distractions. Guys, negative emotions are the biggest source of distractions. So what happens is when you're distracted, you tend to lose focus. When you lose focus, you cannot take actions. If you don't actions, the final result is you will not get results. And then this will ultimately affect your winning. So that is why this is very, very important that you take care of your negative emotions. Now, if you want to take control of this, then you need to become first aware about this, because awareness leads to control. Yeah. So moving on, let's figure out one by one which are the emotions we are talking about. Firstly, let's understand about irritation or discomfort. Guys, this emotion is of a little lower intensity. It is a sense that something is bothering you. It is a feeling that something is amiss, that everything is not a perfect. And guys, if not taken care, this emotion will escalate and it will transit into a higher intensity negative emotion. It could be in a form of fear, it could be hurt, it could be anger, frustration, disappointment, anything. So it is very, very important that you become aware about the smaller irritations or discomforts that you are facing. Second emotion, which is one of the most widely experienced emotion, they say that the top two fears the humans have is one of fear of death and the other is a fear of public speaking. But apart from that, it is one of the most widely felt human emotion. See, what fear does to us is it limits us. It stops us from taking that action which is required for achieving our goal. For seeing our dream in reality, we need to take action. So guys, fear mostly is about the unknown. No, it is like saying in your subconscious mind that I am not prepared. I can't deal with it. Fear is mostly about uncertainties of the life. It could be business life, it could be professional career life. Fear we see in lot of when the stakes are high, when there is a probability that you can lose, fear sets in. There is fear of failure which inhibits you from taking action. There is fear of rejection as well. Trying, asking for help, trying for new things. Where will people accept me? There is fear of acceptance as well. And another big fear which I have experienced in myself and in other friends also whom I have observed is people laughing at you. So there is a certain visualization or a certain audio clip that always murmurs at the back of your head, and it's a silent voice which tells you that people are laughing, people are giggling at you when you don't achieve what you are. So if you want to really overcome these emotions, firstly you need to become aware about that. Fear then sometimes leads into hurt as well. So the third negative emotions on today's Vblog is about hurt. See, hurt, if you dissect, if you have a closer observation, hurt is nothing but a sense of loss. Every time you feel hurt, there is a feeling that you have lost something. It is very, very common in relationships. Closer the relationship, more time you have spent with a person, it is of a higher probability that you will be getting hurt because the expectations are higher. It could be a perceived loss of significance. When people feel insulted, they feel that I am important, but my significance has been lost here, so I feel insulted. a breakup in relationship. The loss could be about money, the loss could be about time, so it could be about mostly emotions as well. When you invest in friendships, in your love life, and when the other person does not reciprocate, you tend to feel hurt. What is that? That is that I have invested emotions in you, but there is a sense of loss. I've taken a couple of examples to have a more clarity on this. Let's say, for example, I make a generic statement that I'm hurt, and if I'm questioned why, I said I felt insulted today. So hurt, as we say here, is if you go from here, hurt is a sense of loss. Now what is lost here? When you are insulted, what is lost? What is lost is I am no more important to you. I am no more important in this office, in this business, in the context, in your life. So there is loss of significance. Second is, let's say I go through an event where I was waiting for a friend of mine at a restaurant, and I uttered, see, I was waiting for you for almost half an hour, and that is why I'm hurt. That's why I'm feeling a little bit angry. So here, hurt means sense of loss. What is the loss about? The loss is of time. So this half an hour waiting, I found that I wasted my time. There was no meaningful return of investment on that time, so I felt it is a loss. So you get hurt when there is a sense of loss. So how do you control that? So if you overcome your impulsive reaction that it seems like a loss, but it is not a loss, then you can control hurts. Now hurt, if not taken care, transits and escalates into a far more dangerous territory. This is where all the sharks live. This is anger. So the fourth emotion in discussion today is anger. See guys, when consistently hurt is not taken care in a person or either in yourself, it then escalates to anger. So anger is nothing but a higher intensity hurt. So it begins with irritation, then it jumps to hurt, and then it escalates into far more demonic force, which is anger. Now, so from here on, if you really understand human emotions, you have to stretch out your two hands vertically. The left hand is your expectation. See, it is here. If you see on the screen, I will just highlight this. This is the top hand. The top hand is about expectation, and this is the reality. So whenever you are angry, what is wrong is there is a gap between expectations and reality, and wider that gap, more the difference, more is the intensity of your anger. So this is a gap here which produces the anger. In most of the emotions that we'll discuss henceforth, the basic root cause or the basic diagnosis is same. There is a gap between the expectations and the reality. Yeah, let's now see how it applies to frustration, which is our next emotion on the list. See, here also, if you closely look, there is expectations and the bottom hand is about reality. If there is a gap here, it will lead to frustration. So whenever there is a gap, another kind of emotion sets in. So this is about frustration. Now, frustration also has got a little positive annotations. See, if one feels that in this event it was possible that the reality could have been closer to the expectations, if it was possible that the behavior or the actions which were taken could have been much better, then it leads to frustration. If you believe that India could have won the match of this couple of days match, T20 World Cup, if you believe that India could have won this match, and if they would have ended up on the losing side, it would have been frustrating because you believe that India could win it. Why Pakistani fans are more frustrated and less disappointed? The distinction is, in the emotion of frustration, you believe it was possible for one to do it, to achieve it, to perform it, and that is why it leads to frustration. Now, the next emotion is about disappointment. Disappointment is a close kin, is almost a sibling of frustration, but the difference is when repetitively you have got frustrations. let's say for example there were two or three consistent instances where you kept hope that things could be achieved, and still there was a gap, still there was a seething gap here, then at one point you are going to feel that it is not possible to close the gap. The performance could not have been better. So there is a gap between expectations and reality, but the thought is little different. There's a small distinction that this gap could not have been closed. So here, just pay attention here. Now, this frustration is of a lower intensity and has got positive polarity. Frustration has got positive polarity, whereas if you look at disappointment, it has got a negative polarity. For what reason? It has got negative polarity for a simple reason that now you have started growing another emotion, which is helplessness. Come what may, whatever action I take, I will not be able to achieve my goals. Something which comes after repetitive failures. Now let's move on to guilt. Guilt is also a very interesting emotion. See, guilt, there is the same fundamental about the gap. Whenever there is a gap between expectations and reality, you experience guilt. But what is guilt about? Guilt is about self. So the difference between frustration and disappointment, and there could be a probable distinction, is in guilt you have certain standards or certain expectations about your own behavior, about your own thought or about your own performance. When that is not met, you sharply experience guilt. From guilt, let's move to overload. Overload is a little easier in understanding. It's a feeling that you are burdened. It's a negative feeling where it's a kind of self-sabotage, where your self-esteem is not good. So you think that, I don't have the required capacity to take the burden or to share the burden of the task that is given. So we all tend to perceive our internal capacity. So overload is a feeling that I am, I don't have this much of capacity, but I am asked to be burdened by such heavy loads. So under the pressure of this, you may crumble. Next is loneliness. See, loneliness is mostly felt in relationship. It's a very sad feeling that nobody loves me, nobody likes me. So it comes out of a fear of rejection. It comes out of fear of people not accepting me, fear of people laughing at me. So it is felt when you are hurt in relationship and you have formed certain beliefs which make you feel that nobody loves you, right? And then you don't feel connected to anyone. Finally, about helplessness, guys, this is one of the worst feeling you can ever have inside you. It's a worst feeling. Never ever feel helpless. So when you are under this spell of helplessness, what you say to yourself is, anything I do won't help the matter. Anything won't change the reality. This is a kind of learned helplessness. How Seligman says it. Learned helplessness is when you have repetitively seen failure in something, you tend to give up, you tend to quit. What is the feeling? That anything I do won't help. But guys, helplessness stops us from getting into action. So finally, this is what you need to understand. Let's say, for example, this is your big prized goal and this is your current reality. The only thing that can close this gap, if anything can close this gap, is actions, massive actions, and that too also with lot of focus and determination. So you need to definitely take care of all these 10 negative emotions I have just shared. So if you are able to take control of this, then I am pretty sure that you will move towards your goal and nobody can stop you from winning. Thank you. This is Kaustubh signing off. Hope you like my daily vlog of today. Thank you very much. Guys, if you have a goal, if you have a dream with a deadline, and if you want to win, please subscribe to my channel, The Kaustubh's Corporate Show. Guys, my channel is all about winning. Daily I will share vlogs about how to win, the mantras, the tools. I will highlight what stops you. I will share the stories of winning, and to inspire you, I will dissect certain success quotes as well. So please subscribe to my channel. The name of the channel is the Kaustubh's Corporate Show.